Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Holiday Cup and we're going to be featuring a team that's hunting the Vigoroth again. So here we have the Dunsparce as a lead, pretty decent lead, as we are going to be able to do some neutral damage and we are resisting their fast moves here. Let's see what we do here. We ended up staying in and we're going to allow this foul play to go through. We know that we can get to multiple drill runs here. They decide to let the drill run go through. We go for another drill run. After one little fast move, our opponent is going to allow it to go through. We have potential to farm it down at this point, so we actually end up shielding here so we can get the potential farm down. The opponent actually brings in the Palossand. So Palossand right here is going to be terrible for our backline, and we've got to stay in because we are only taking resisted fast moves here, but they're going to be able to get to that surf relatively quickly. We're going to go for another move here. We do get a shield from our opponent, so that was job well done. At least we got a shield from this Palossand here, and let's see what we come in with. Both are very bad for us, so we're just going to go in with the Skeledirge here, as the Incinerators did get a little bit of a buff. So we're going to do a little bit of fast move here. Oh, great catch by my opponent right here. Ends up switching out right when we're going to throw a Disarming Voice. They tank the move, and we're going to be able to just test out how much damage this Mud Bomb does, okay? So it does a decent amount of damage. We don't want another one to go through, so we're going to go and use the Scorpion Sand. We are able to barely not take it out, so we get a little bit of farm. And then here our opponent is going to be able to throw a move right when we get to ours. This is an easy shield, and then we're going to be going for this Scorching Sand bait. We're looking for a debuff right here. Is it possible? No debuff, and now it's just a race to the move. Unfortunately, they are able to get to a surf before we get to the next Scorpion Sand right here. And then here, we're going to be able to get to a Disarming Voice on our Skeledirge here to take out this Palossand. So GG's to our opponent right there. Able to wiggle out of that Palossand backline right there. The team obviously is normal double ghost, and the Dunsparce is to entice any potential Vigoroths in the back. So here we have a great lead. They're going to switch out into the Lantern. We're going to switch out into the Palossand because this Palossand doesn't do so well against the Dragon Breath Altaria. So we're just going to use this Palossand to take out this Lantern possibly. One Scorpion Sand goes through, doesn't quite KO. They are able to get to another surf before we get to ours, so this is an opportunity for us to farm it down. We do go for the farm down, so at least we have some energy to throw back at that Altaria if they end up throwing the Altaria back in. Here we're going to go for this Shadow Ball right here. This Shadow Ball does go through. As you can see here, we're going to immediately switch out because we want to bait out any potential Vigoroth. So they don't have a Vigoroth in the bag. They actually have a Venusaur. We're going to be able to get to another drill run right here. This drill run ends up getting shielded, so we do get a shield, and let's see what our opponent does here. We think we can survive one Frenzy Plant from this range. We do survive it. We are very close to another drill run. They are able to throw another Frenzy Plant here right before we get to our drill run, so we're going to come back in here with the Skeledirge here, looking for the farm down. Unfortunately, they are able to get to another move, but we know that we can resist it, so we don't worry about that. And then here, we're just going to go for a Disarming Voice. This Disarming Voice will not KO, unfortunately, because it's not stab, but also it does take it low enough to where, as you can see right there, one Incinerate did go through, so all we have to do here is shield, and that Incinerate damage does count after the shield. So GG's to our opponent. Not bad, not best. I haven't quite seen the Vigoroths yet, but the team is still working out as we're making sure we're kind of playing around the team setup here. So here we're going to have to face a Wigglytuff. Not necessarily the spot where we want to see the Wigglytuff, as our Skeledirge will do much better against it, but I guess better here than against the Palossand. So we're just going to do as much damage as possible. We're going to have to tank this Icy Wind right here. This Icy Wind does debuff our attack, so this drill run doesn't quite do as much. So we're just going to hope that we can just farm down at this point. So we do get the farm down. Let's see what we find here. We do see the Lantern. So this Lantern here is running the Spark version. We're going to be able to get this Shadow Ball off right here. Lantern, not so great, but we are going to tank this one right here and switch out. Our opponent ends up revealing that they have the Altaria in the back right there. So this is exactly where we didn't want to see the Altaria. But we go for a little bit of a bait right there, and unfortunately our opponent doesn't fall for it. They're going to be able to get to this sky attack easily. All they have to do is just go for sky attacks, and we somehow have to bait them, get these shields out. So we do get a shield right there. Still no debuff, so a little bit unlucky right there, but we're going to have to try to figure out something to try to get this last shield or do some big damage. We do go for this Shadow Ball right here. This Shadow Ball probably will not KO, but they do decide to shield. We're going to combo play right here. We do have a Disarming Voice ready, but as you can see here, it doesn't do enough damage to even take out that Alternia, especially since the Skeledirge doesn't have stab fairy typing. So, well played by my opponent right there. GG's. On to the next game. Can we end off on a good note? Here we have the Electrode. This Electrode here is going to stay in. We're going to stay in as well, as we can fight back with some neutral draw runs right here. Electro potentially could know Wild Charge, Grass Knot, I believe. Let's see what they throw. They go for the Wild Charge. We try to get them on the back-to-back, but they actually win CAP right there. So they do go for the back-to-back Wild Charge. We're going to go for a draw run. Basically, we're going to take them out here, or we're going to get a shield. We do get a shield. Our opponent ends up switching out into the Vigoroth. We wait one count, and we make sure that it is the correct Vigoroth, or correct normal typing of Vigoroth. Sometimes it could be, Dunsparce, Double, stuff like that. So we do wait, and then we are going to switch into our hard counter of Palossand. This is what we've been waiting for. Trying to match up the Vigoroth against our Palossand here. We are going to be able to hard wall this completely. Our opponent here is going for the double resisted body slams. Maybe they only have bulldoze or something. Not exactly sure. But we're going to be able to get to double Scorching Sands. We throw one Scorching Sand. We have a move ready for the next thing. We're going to be able to throw a Shadow Ball next towards this Skarmory. So we're going to try to race to another Shadow Ball. We do get to the next Shadow Ball right there. So that is well timed by us. This is going to get a shield or is going to KO. Ends up being a KO. And now we know that this is GG's because we're going to have the Dunsparce not only throwing this draw run, but we also have another Pokemon in the back to deal with this Electro. Little did they know it is going to be the Skeledirge, and that is going to be able to wipe them out easily. But we're going to be able to get to this draw run here to take out this Electro, and that is GG's for that game right there. Nice way to end it right there, and hope this next game will be able to be just as well. Next game we see we're going to be met with the Chestnut here. Chestnut not necessarily great for that Dunsparce as all the moves are resisted. Here we're going to go for this Disarming Voice on the Skeledirge. The Skeledirge is going to get a shield. Our opponent ends up switching out, saving all that energy on that Chestnut. Here we're going to let this Surf go because we do have this Dunsparce to give some damage, and plus we want it out of the way. We don't want this Dunsparce to be faced against that Chestnut, so we're going to go for that draw run right there. It does roughly 50%. Our opponent ends up throwing a move. Ends up being the Thunderbolt right there. Thunderbolt doesn't quite KO. We're going to be able to get to this draw run right here. Draw run will KO if they don't shield. They decide to let it go, which is fine. And then we're going to immediately switch out into the Palossand. We know that this Palossand potentially could just go for Scorching Sand at this range, but we're going to have to invest some shields. First shield goes through to shield the Frenzy Plant. We're going to go for this Scorching Sand right here. Scorching Sand does get the shield from our opponent. Unfortunately, no debuff right there, so we're going to have to shield this next one. And now we're going to hope that we're going to be able to win the backline here. Oh, our opponent ends up having the Charger Bug. So Charger Bug here, the fast moves of Volt Switch is not doing so well. We go for another Scorching Sand, no debuff. The Scorching Sand debuff is not on our side this round here. Unfortunately for us, they do have the Crunch. That is the one move we were trying to avoid. Here we go for another Scorching Sand. Does take out the last Pokemon, or the Charger Bug. And then we're going to switch out into our Dunsparce here to try to whittle it down. And we do get the fast move down. So GG's to our opponent right there. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.